online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
It's just kind of hard to take, you know. I mean, I've never felt so helpless.
A West Fargo contractor says he feels violated after $30,000 worth of his equipment was stolen. He'd finished working for the day and left his trailer overnight. As Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero reports, it only took a matter of hours for thieves to strike.
Dalen Schmidt is on his office computer cataloging all the equipment that he reported stolen.
I don't know who would have taken it. Somebody must have seen us working there. We've been working there for the past 3 days steady.
Schmidt, who has been in business for 20 years, says this loss is tough to take.
Basically, it's all our carpentry tools, saws, hammers, screws, all our supplies.
Schmidt estimates about $30,000 worth of equipment was stolen from a trailer he bought less than 7 months ago. His company was building a garage for the South Fargo home of Paula Weiler. Weiler says she saw the trailer at around midnight in front of her house. When it wasn't there Friday morning, she suspected an employee may have taken it.
Honestly, we've lived here for 20 years and nothing like this has ever happened to us. We've worked with him plenty of times and he's a great man and he does really good work and he's a very stand-up person. So I feel really bad that this has happened for him.
Schmidt says a Fargo police officer told him that the person or persons who stole his trailer might be driving into the Twin Cities in order to cash in on it. Schmidt's going to drive around that neighborhood to check if any homes had surveillance cameras. He isn't hopeful he'll get the trailer back, but Schmidt says it's better than throwing up his hands in defeat. In West Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
We want to show you another look at the trailer. The serial numbers have been reported to Fargo investigators. New at 6 tonight, a Fargo man is back in custody after he was arrested in Missouri. 22-year-old Dejon Johnson was an escaped inmate from Fargo and appears to have traveled quite a bit since then. Johnson was picked up in a stolen vehicle from Kentucky after a high-speed chase with authorities this morning in Missouri. Another man he was traveling with escaped. Johnson is wanted for theft in Nebraska and retail fraud in Michigan. Another windy day, but with the warmer temps, they melted some snow and hopefully continued to dry saturated farm fields. Let's find out from Justin Fanfarelli how tonight's weather will be. Justin?
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, we are seeing clouds overspreading the region as of right now. If you're out toward Bemidji or points off to the north, could see a few peaks of sun, but everybody else mostly cloudy. We do have a band of some very light rain moving into the Devil's Lake area and Jamestown area right now. This is pretty light, and most of us will stay dry. We're a little warmer into the Southern Valley and Lakes country, some lower 60s on the map, but temperatures out toward Devil's Lake near that 50-degree mark as the wind flips from a southerly direction to more of a northwesterly direction. Wind is dissipating, though, as we're only seeing wind speeds of around, say, 5 to 15 miles per hour, much better than the afternoon. So mostly cloudy skies through the early overnight, then mostly clear skies as temperatures fall back from the mid-50s into the lower 40s just before daybreak for tomorrow. We have a nice day in store tomorrow, lots of sunshine and temperatures on their way up. And then some rain possible. We'll have the details on that coming up later in the newscast.
You have to get out and enjoy tomorrow.
Yep, that sounds good.
All right, thanks. Authorities are looking for a man near the Moorhead MSUM campus. They say he stole a handgun from someone and is believed to be traveling 3 blocks north of the campus. He's described as Hispanic, about 5'9", wearing a gray sweatshirt and red pants. Police say there is no threat to the campus. Investigators tell us that the body found near the Red River last night showed no obvious signs of trauma, but they aren't ruling out homicide as the cause of death. The body was spotted last night around 6:30 in about a foot of water near the Prairie St. John's property line and the base of Dyke West. Authorities are trying to figure out who the person is. It's time for this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Samuel LaFountain Sr. is wanted on a probation violation on a possession of drug paraphernalia charge. Call law enforcement if you have any information on his whereabouts. One man's very lucky he didn't get hurt after his semi rolled while doing some work in a newer development in South Fargo. It happened this afternoon in the Eagle Point area. Police tell us that the driver was backing up when the soft ground caved in, gave way, causing the truck to roll. The driver was stuck in the semi.
We used the jaws of life and forced the driver's door open, and he climbed down under his own power, uninjured.
Now, coming up tonight at 9 on Fargo CW and on Valley News Live 10 at 10, we're going to talk with someone who witnessed the whole incident today and how this season has been rough for getting construction projects completed. Still no sign of a missing plane. Volunteers with the Civil Air Patrol taking off from the Fargo Jet Center this morning. The plane crashed somewhere between Aberdeen, South Dakota and Oaks, North Dakota last week. Volunteers say that snow has been a negative impact on the search efforts.
With the weather that we had, because their plane supposedly went down right before we had that storm from last week. So we had several days, I think it was about 5 days, that we couldn't get in there due to weather.
Here's a picture of that single-engine blue and white Cessna that crews are trying to find. They say they haven't been able to pick up a beacon signal from the aircraft. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum is expected to ask for federal help in dealing with record-breaking snow that fell last week in North Dakota, and then, of course, the subsequent flooding as a result. Officials say 7 counties in central and eastern North Dakota, as well as the cities of Jamestown, Lemoore, and Valley City, already issued flood emergency declarations. A Burgum spokesperson says that more cities and counties are expected to be added to that list. Once an assessment is complete, the governor is expected to declare an emergency for affected areas. It's a step toward pursuing a presidential disaster declaration that could pave the way for federal aid. The storm dropped more than 2 feet of snow in some areas, followed by flooding. Jamestown is looking for some help as the city braces for flooding. Over 100 volunteers gathered at what they call Sandbag Central in Jamestown today, wanting to fill 65,000 sandbags by Sunday. City leaders say that last week's 17 inches of snow added more moisture to an already sopping wet September. There are 3 main parts of town where the reservoir pools are overflowing. One woman we talked with says the James River is knocking on her back door, literally, and is only 10 feet away from seeping into her home.
I've lived in my house for 3 years, and this is the first time I've had any problems. So I'm out here to support and help out with everybody else that's part of the flood.
With around 15,000 sandbags left to fill, the city says they need volunteers now more than ever. Sandbag Central will be open every day from 9 to 6 p.m. at the Jamestown Civic Center until their goal is met. It's going to be 2 weeks before a stretch of 52nd Avenue in Fargo is open. The city engineer tells us that last concrete was poured today between Veterans Boulevard and 63rd Street. Kevin Gorder says 50 to 70 people have been working daily on the project. He says that they still have work on the median and sidewalks before that stretch is completed. The overall project, covering 45th to Cheyenne, won't be done until next spring. Hey, don't forget to join us again this weekend for the Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame show. Coverage begins at 1:30 live from the Fargo Dome. Kickoff to follow at 2:30 between the NDSU Bison and the Bears on the KVLY KFYR Bison Football Network. Later on Valley News Live at 6, raising the awareness of breast cancer so more people regularly get checked.
And temperatures making it into the low to mid 60s into the Southern Valley. Our normal high is 55 and another above average day for tomorrow, and then a big cool down. Details coming up.